And Ken Owen is standing by live at the Coliseum with this report. Ken?
Well, Liz, it's only fitting that for $19.86 tonight, people can come out here, enjoy some barbecued chicken and beef, and meet with Vice President George Bush, Senator Dan Quayle, and other Republican officials. About 1,300 people are expected to do so tonight. At the moment, Bush and Quayle are at a $250 per couple private reception, but later they'll be right here addressing this gathering. Bush arrived in town at about 4:10 this afternoon. Security was tight at Fairfield this afternoon as Vice President George Bush arrived in Fort Wayne. Bush and Senator Dan Quayle were greeted by a number of state and local Republican officials, as well as Bush's wife, who arrived earlier with Governor Robert Orr. Bush had words of praise for the Senate for last week's passage of a budget compromise. That package would reduce the deficit by $300 billion over the next 3 years. Bush characterized the Senate's action as bold.
When the Senate did what it did the other night, passing a major deficit reduction program, I think the American people support that.
Bush also maintained that now is not the time for a tax increase, that the deficit can be brought under control with spending cuts. On the subject of U.S.-Soviet relations, the Vice President expressed optimism that a summit between President Reagan and new Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev will take place.
My gut instinct is that there will be, and I wouldn't look for I don't know. I really don't know what would be accomplished, but I wouldn't look for major breakthroughs.
Of course, the Vice President is in town to promote Quayle's candidacy. He calls Dan Quayle an outstanding U.S. Senator who's been responsible for important legislation such as the Job Training Partnership Act and who's been a friend of the Reagan administration's economic policies. Bush will be here in about a half an hour to address the gathering. He'll speak actually at 7:30. He'll be here in a half an hour to greet the crowd. So far, only one Democrat has announced plans to oppose Quayle in next November's election. That would be State Senator Louis Mahern of Indianapolis. We'll have details of Bush's speech tonight at 10 on News 1590. Reporting live from the Memorial Coliseum, Ken Owen, Live I-15.
And thank you, Ken.